I think Tank is a capable enough boxer to protect himself there. This is where like it transit. Like Mike Tyson, I had much more concerns about than Tank. Is Tank probably going to get knocked out? Yeah, like it's pretty likely.
So?
The size.
I don't think so.
Wow.
So, all right, for the people who say I'm supposed to get over it, get past it, we had a rematch clause, right? We had a rematch clause. If I'm declared the winner or if the bout was declared a draw, he has the right to exercise an immediate rematch.
But it's not on nobody's record. You know what I'm saying? It's an exhibition. I think Tank gets knocked out. That hurts him bad.
Jake is probably 100 pounds bigger than the guy. You know, that's a lot of weight, Carl. You know, you've been in a boxing ring, that still counts. And if you make the gloves small, Gervonta could technically hurt Jake even if he hits him.
I believe I'm stronger, more athletic, and that's my advantage going into the fight, but he pretty much has every other advantage. So I'm locked in, fully focused.
Maggie right there. I think Jake Paul wins that fight. You're way, look, obviously Gervonta Davis has way more experience. He's a hell of a fighter. He's done so much more for boxing. And you know.
Gabe Rosado warned Gervonta Davis that losing to Jake Paul could damage his legacy. Paulie Malignaggi pointed out that the fight is just an exhibition, not a real sanctioned match. He explained that although Jake's earlier pro fights weren't fixed, this one is different since betting isn't allowed. Malignaggi even suggested the result could be planned like a WWE event.
Setting up his fights. I personally don't think Jake sets up his fights. I think, they're sanctioned fights and, you're risking a federal crime if you set up a sanctioned fight. So I personally don't think, when I watch it, I don't. I just think he's fighting opponents that, are not with it anymore or are too small for him and whatnot. But in this situation, it is an exhibition. So you've got to keep in mind that this could be set up. This could be like WWE. This one could be set up. I don't know. I'm not saying it is, but this is not a sanctioned fight, champ. This is an exhibition. And an exhibition means you cannot bet on it. You cannot bet on the result. If you remember, this is why they changed the Mike Tyson fight from an exhibition to a real fight, because they realized, an exhibition, you could stage it and they couldn't take bets on it. So this is an exhibition. There is no betting on it.
Paulie Malignaggi added that in a real fight, Davis could win, but Jake's size is a major challenge. He said smaller gloves could help Tank hurt Jake, but they'd also make Jake's punches more dangerous for Tank. Because of the size gap, Malignaggi called it a circus-style matchup and said the exhibition might be staged to avoid real risk.
If they don't stage it and don't kind of set up a sort of a mild sparring session, I'd say Davis has a chance. Depends on the size of the gloves. Because here's the thing, Jake is probably 100 pounds bigger than the guy. That's a lot of weight, Carl. You've been in a boxing ring, that still counts. And if you make the gloves small, Gervonta could technically hurt Jake even if he hits him. But the problem is that the gloves are small. Jake could also hurt Gervonta because Gervonta's so small. Gervonta's so much smaller than him. So do you make the gloves big, and then really who's got an advantage? I don't know. Technically Gervonta's a lot better boxer, but he's so much smaller. I've stood next to Jake. Jake's a big guy. It's like I said, it's a bit of a circus freak show, and that's why I don't put it out of the question that this exhibition could be a bit staged.
Blue Blood Sports discussed the tension between Claressa Shields and Gervonta Davis. Shields told Davis not to let others disrespect him and to face anyone who challenges him before retiring. Tank brushed it off, saying he's already richer and doesn't need to prove anything.
Claressa cooked Tank Davis, and his typical response is, "I got more money than you." She said you're scary, and these dudes are disrespecting you in your name. You shouldn't leave no food on the table before you retire if they disrespect your name. And his response is, "I got more money than you."
Jake Paul admitted that Gervonta Davis is his toughest opponent yet. He said Davis has more experience, skills, and advantages, but he believes his own power and athleticism will make the difference. Jake claimed he's fully focused and predicted this would be the biggest fight of 2025.
Yeah, no, I'm locked in. I know this is my toughest fight. He's undefeated, highly skilled, most experienced fighter I've fought, top 5 pound for pound. So I have to have the best version of myself. I know how fast he is. I know how strong he is. I believe I'm stronger, more athletic, and that's my advantage going into the fight. But he pretty much has every other advantage. So I'm locked in, fully focused, feeling amazing already, and just going to put on a performance and have the biggest fight of 2025.
Showbiz predicted a knockout win for Gervonta Davis. He said even though Jake is bigger, Tank has beaten better fighters like Hector Luis Garcia. According to him, Jake's weak footwork and poor inside fighting will lead to a clean knockout from Tank.
Can Tank knock out Jake? And this is what we're going to look at right now. The biggest question that I had was, can Tank reach Jake? Jake Paul is 6'1". He can reach 6 feet, no problem. Who's a more skillful fighter, Barrios or Jake Paul? Ain't even a damn question. Barrios a far more skillful fighter than Jake. Who has better reflexes, Barrios or Jake Paul? Barrios has better reflexes. Here's the question. Who has a better chin, Barrios or Jake Paul? It's hard to say, ain't it? Here's my thing. I'm going to show you guys clips of Jake Paul versus Chavez. Bow and arrow effect on the outside, lifts his right foot all the time, every time he throws a punch, and no game on the inside. The more I look at Jake, the more I look at Tank, the more I'm growing more and more confident that Tank is going to get that one result that we all yearn for, and that's the Tank Davis night.
Showbiz also shared that Tank is bulking up for the fight and could weigh around 160 pounds on fight night. His plan is to enter the ring strong and compact, using his powerful build to pressure the larger Jake Paul.
Gervonta Tank Davis, it's my prediction that Gervonta Tank Davis is going to weigh in on the night of the fight against Jake Paul, knocking on 160 pounds. Don't be surprised if he's 157 pounds, something like that. You guys see this footage? Look at Tank. Now, if you know what you're looking at, the guy must be around 150 right now, 153, something like that. And you can really tell when he's sideways. When you look at him sideways and see the depth. See, from the front view, you can't really tell. But when he turns sideways, the guy is a wrecking ball. He's literally a baby rhino out there. And I think that is the idea for him to bulk up and be a little powerhouse out there. And I'm all for it.
Gabe Rosado supported Davis taking the fight, saying Tank deserves the $40 million payday because boxing is tough and fighters need financial security. He praised Jake Paul for bringing new fans and excitement to the sport, saying both men win in their own way.
I just want to follow up on that real quick. Gabe, I got a question for you. In terms of Canelo Crawford, do you think time would have made a difference in the sense of, a lot of people are going to say Canelo was at the end, he was spent a little bit, whatever the case might be. But do you think Crawford beats him on any day?
You know what, man? I really do believe that Canelo was flat. I do think that at his age and at his level, you're staying busy, you're staying active, and that's training camp after training camp. That it does break you down. So I think it will be wise for Canelo to take time off and just get back into it gradually. And you can give Crawford a better fight. You can, but I think he needs some time to relax. Because this sport of boxing takes a toll on you, especially at that age. You know what I'm saying? And I think Crawford was fresh. I mean, Crawford was the fresher guy that night.
Speaking of big fights, Tank, Jake Paul coming up in November, call it or not. What do you make of that fight? I mean, more so the perspective of Tank is the first current active world champion facing Jake Paul. Is it good? Is it bad? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Listen, man, he making 40 mil is what I hear. Get your money. Because listen, this sport is brutal, dog. We got hustle and bustle. And to put yourself in a position where you can make that kind of money, you can't be mad at Tank. Make your money, because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, who's going to feed your kids? Who's going to take care of your family? Who's going to take care of you? So I ain't mad at Tank. Get your money. And at the end of the day, Jake Paul is in a league of his own. And hate on him or not, whatever, at the end of the day, he's bringing attention. And there's actual growth. There's good fights on the card. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not mad at it, man. Jake Paul's on a lane of his own. It's great entertainment. It's boxing. But it's just a different sort.
Gabe Rosado also said Tank doesn't have to win since the match doesn't affect records. Still, if Tank were knocked out, it could damage his reputation. He doesn't expect that to happen, though, since Tank is too skilled and used to fighting bigger opponents.
Do you think, Gabe, that Tank has to win this fight? If he loses, does it impact his legacy?
Well, he don't have to win this fight because it's not a pro fight. It's an exhibition.
But they judging it.
Yeah, but it's not on nobody's record. You know what I'm saying? It's an exhibition. I think Tank. I think if Tank gets knocked out, that hurts him bad. You know what I'm saying? I think that hurts him bad. But I don't see that happening because, you know, at the end of the day, I'm not saying it can't happen, but Tank is sharp, lit, defense, you know what I'm saying? So Tank know what he's getting into. He's been fighting big dudes all his life.
Danny Garcia defended Davis's decision to fight Jake Paul. He said as a 3-division champion, Tank has earned the right to take a big money exhibition. Garcia added that anyone would accept such an offer, reminding critics that fighters must do what's best for their families.
I know a lot of people are criticizing him, but I think he did the right thing.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, he's a 3-division world champion. He beat great fighters. And boxing's all about timing and getting a big payday. So how could you be mad about somebody who's going to make all these millions of dollars for something that don't count? Everybody would do that.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a lot of money.
If you speak in boxing, okay, people are going to criticize no matter what. So sometimes you got to sit back and people are still going to watch it anyway. I'm going to watch it. Everybody's going to watch it. So sometimes you got to do what's best for you and your family.
Yeah.
You know, boxing will be here 100 years after. And that's just the way the game goes.
Tank's trainer, Calvin Ford, revealed he warned Davis not to underestimate Jake Paul. He said Jake has taken on tough challenges and even broke Mike Tyson's aura, proving he's serious. Ford said Tank agreed they must treat Jake as a real threat because he's completely focused on this fight.
Like Tank just having his way with Jake, like giving like no.
No, I'm gonna tell you this is what I tell Tank, and Tank said it in the interview. I said, Tank, y'all going there doing y'all thing, woo woo woo. I said, he ain't giving you nothing. Let's look at it. Look at all the persons he fought. He ain't giving them nothing. Especially when he fought Tyson. He took a lot. He stripped Tyson of a lot of things. And I said, he ain't giving you nothing. You mean to tell me you start hitting Jake with some shit, he ain't gonna fight back? He said, fact. So I said, you gotta take him serious. You get what I'm saying? Because he talked about, he had you on a hit list before this fight even happened. So his mental is on you. And he said it in the interview. How you think about something, make it come out, and look where we at there. It's about to happen. So you have to take him serious.
On the Ariel Helwani show, analysts said Gervonta Davis is a skilled boxer, but Jake's size could decide the outcome. They warned that Tank could get knocked out due to the size difference, saying Paul's weight advantage makes the matchup risky.
I think Tank is a capable enough boxer to protect himself there. This is where like Mike Tyson I had much more concerns about than Tank. Is Tank probably going to get knocked out? Yeah, like it's pretty likely.
So?
The size.
I don't think so.
Aiden Ross predicted Jake Paul would beat Gervonta Davis. He praised Tank's boxing legacy but said the matchup makes sense and fans want it. Ross credited Jake for bringing new life to boxing and raising entertainment standards, while Joe Rogan noted the sport is shifting toward MMA.
I think Jake Paul wins that fight. You're way look. Obviously, Gervonta Davis has way more experience. He's a hell of a fighter. He's done so much more for boxing, and you know, than a lot of people. But to say that, you know, that's not everyone's gonna want to watch that fight. I think it's a genius idea. I think Jake Paul sets the craziest expectations, and I think he sets the bar so high now in the boxing world. Jake Paul revived boxing. You know, people could say what they want to say about it, but Jake Paul really revived the sport of boxing. You know, Joe Rogan once said previously, not so long ago, but he did speak about how boxing would eventually die out and all the eyes would shift to MMA.
Lamont Roach explained the rematch clause, saying if the fight ends in a draw, both sides agreed to an immediate rematch. He confirmed the contract was signed in June and made the agreement official and binding.
So, all right, for the people who say I'm supposed to get over it, get past it, we had a rematch clause, right? We had a rematch clause. If I'm declared the winner or if the bout was declared a draw, he has the right to exercise an immediate rematch. Guess what he did 2 weeks later after the fight? Exercised his right to the rematch. And we went and go handle our business with my team, lawyers, his team, promotional company, lawyers, contract, boom, sign, boom. That was for June. This contract was signed both ends in June. So there's an official rematch.
Julian Love shared his take, saying a smaller fighter can beat a bigger one with the right strategy. He expects a knockout, not a decision, and believes Davis's ring IQ will give him the win.
I mean, when it comes to fighting, that shit really don't mean much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You saw that with Crawford moving up to Canelo?
Yeah, but not only that, in the gym, if you've been in, you know, all the fighters out there that's going to watch this video, they can say, oh no, we know what he's talking about, because you see smaller guys put bigger guys down a lot.
Exactly.
It's all about how you do it. Setting up, trick, you know what I mean? Run them into a wall, run them into a punch, you know what I mean? So it could go either way. It's a good one.
But how do you anticipate, I mean, obviously you're with Jake, but I mean, how do you anticipate the fight going? You think it's a decision, a knockout? Or?
I think somebody going to get caught. You know what I mean? I think so. I don't think it's going to be our guy.
Because they don't like each other.
Yeah. I think they're going to go up, but it's going to be the smart man. Gervonta is obviously fucking smart. He has one of the lowest punch outputs, but still has one of the highest knockout ratios. That says a lot. It's just IQ. It's going to be a lot of IQ floating around that ring, and whoever has the better one will come out.
Logan Paul said his brother Jake's power and size give him an edge, but Tank's speed, skill, and counterpunching ability could turn the tables. He called it a true clash between power and technique.